Welcome to The Guide. It's what you should know for where you want to go, what you didn't know for where you are, and what you can prevent from what you could learn. So why not learn from each other, together, here on The Guide.
What's up? It's Jeff Sanon, live from Ottawa. I'm an artist, producer, songwriter, you know what I'm saying, just a music fanatic. My passion for music began, very early in my life. I feel like music was always being played at the house from when I was young, so it feels like, I was just destined to be paired with music, from the beginning.
Hey, y'all just really got on it. We already.
So when was the point when you decided that you wanted to pursue music?
The point I decided I wanted to make music, I was in grade 6, I was 12, and 50 Cent had just come out with this song in the club, and I was already on Dr. Dre and his style, just his beats and just the quality of his music, and I had heard that he had signed to Dre. And then the album came out and the song, but when I heard the single though, that's when I realized I want to do this forever. I found out that you could be a millionaire off the music, so I wanted to, my initial goal was to do this forever. I'm gonna, make music forever, get the million, get my grandma out of her apartment in Montreal and, have her living good and just do this for life. So that was off the strength of In the Club.
Mm-hmm. And then after you started, decided that you wanted to do music and all that stuff, you actually got into producing.
Yeah, that's around the same time.
Okay,
actually.
So you taught yourself how to produce from
Yeah, definitely. Before I even got into actually producing, it was a thing where it was the music that I heard, it really influenced me. I just wanted to figure out how to create that. And I used to have this little toy. My brothers, they had this toy, this keyboard toy that I used to play around with just to train my ear melody-wise. And around that time, actually, someone I knew, they gave me a software that I still use to this day, FL Studio, and then I installed it, and then the rest was history. You can imagine the first beat was trash, but it was one of those where it was whoa, I gotta keep this going.
Gotta keep it going. There was something inside of you that was basically saying, this could be something better.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that you mentioned 50 Cent earlier, but do you have any other artists right now, or maybe throughout your journey, until now, that have inspired you or that are still inspiring you when it comes to making your own music?
Yeah, definitely. It's a long list, but every interview, I always give my top 4, because those guys, they'll never escape my top 4. Ye, Hove, Drizzy, and Lil Wayne. And my top, the 5th one, I always leave it open because it could change. It could be Biggie one day, and J. Cole the other day, Kendrick, guys like that. But those 4 are the guys that really, how do I say, they
had influence on you.
Yeah, the influence was there, but I feel like they just established what I wanted to establish when I was 12, what I wanted to do with music. They did all of that.
Yeah.
Not only was the music good, but they put people in position. So.
And you felt like those 4 exclusively from any other artists that you were listening to at the time?
They're the ones that did exactly what I wanted to do. What my vision was, their careers is what my vision was at 12 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I know that in 2017, you actually started to release your own music to stream it. I want to know, what was that experience like for you? Why did you decide 2017, you're finally ready to drop the music? So what was that like for you?
So 2017, at the time I was working with my manager back then, Demetrius and Chris. And I had been making music for years before that, releasing songs on SoundCloud and whatnot. But they got to the point where they're like, okay, so now it's time to, profit off the music, make it lucrative. So it was time to release a song on streaming platforms, and so I ended up, basically around that time, I don't know what year it was, it might have been that same year, SZA had dropped her album Control. And like I had been watching interviews, hearing the songs, and I was just like, this girl, like, she really got it, you know? Like I really feel like this is authentic. Like just her whole like artistry is so genuine.
Yeah.
And I ended up making a song called Miss Solana, which is SZA's real name, and uploaded on SoundCloud first. And then like I just saw it kind of like the numbers kind of like they're going and I was like, okay, well this is cool. I'm like, I think this might be the one that we should probably upload, put it on streaming platforms, and it's my biggest song to this day.
Wow.
So that's kind of how that worked out. That's the first one.
Yeah. Your creativity when it comes to music has always been something that is so different, and I feel like it's so timely, especially in this season. We're in the middle of a pandemic and you're out here dropping an EP like it's nobody's business. I want you to get into that EP. Why did you feel like, you know, you wanted to drop it? Why did you create it in the first place?
We talking about Stay Home?
Yes, Stay Home.
Because I actually released 2 different projects on my SoundCloud, and Stay Home is the latest one. Stay Home, you know, like literally, it says it in the name, you know, like it was literally beginning of the quarantine. I just remember it being such a weird time.
Yeah.
For so many people, it's like, oh, you know, we're used to just going to the supermarket and we don't, you know, just in and out. Now it's like, oh, we gotta stay in line, we gotta wear masks and all of that. Crazy times. So it was like, okay, knowing that there's an agenda for people to stay home, I was like, man, like, can I create like some type of, you know, soundtrack to this era that we're in? You know, just to kind of like mark this time, because it was so different. It was just something that we'd never been through. So I was like, wow, since I'm gonna be home, since I'm home all the time and that's where I create from, let me kind of, you know, put together a project that, you know, people could listen to while they'd be home. You know, kind of being under the impression that because people are home, they'll have more time to listen to music. But I don't think it worked out that way. But I'm still happy that, you know, I took the time to put that project together.
Out. Either way, you were working, you know. I feel like a lot of people are taking this season as an excuse to be lazy, to not really, you know, pursue. Exactly. But that's not the only thing that you have been doing recently. You were also featured on one of Montreal artist Sankia's song. She dropped a song called Bother Me. I just need to know, what was your, you know, the verse that you wrote for that song, what was your head at when you were writing that song? What was the vision for the song? Because it's kind of deep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Shout out to Montreal, by the way. It's the hometown. And Sankia, super talented artist. So, so I just want to give background on how that started. Just me and her collaborating. So, Sankia, I had, you know, heard her music here and there, and then she released a project, and there was this song called B-I-T-C-H, Made, and that was my favorite one. So what I did was I took the song, you know, chopped it up, whatever, made an instrumental out of it, but kept her voice. Because we were talking in DM one day, and I was like, I think our voices would be great together. And, you know, for her, it's like, she doesn't know me like that, so she's probably like, yeah, okay. But, you know, my ear is kind of like, you know, developed, you know what I'm saying? So I really meant it. So I took, you know, that song, and then like I did my own little, you know, version to it, and she liked it. So then I feel like that kind of started the relationship. Fast forward, she's like, oh, I want you on this song, and I think it'll be great. I'm like, okay. So she sends me one song. I'm like, okay, this is cool, but I'm like, is there any chance you can send me a second one? And then, because I feel like then once I pick which one I like better, we're good. Like, it's gonna be out of here. She sent me the second one, and that happened to be Bother Me. And the thing that's just, not ironic, but just like in terms of time, it was just a coincidence that she sent me a record with that type of mood. And around that time, I was kind of just going through some
stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Some personal stuff that like people go through, you know, with just relationships and stuff like that. Not that I was in one, but you know, I guess there was just a situation, I guess, that was really happening around that time. So it was like, I kind of get why people say music is therapeutic, because she really sent me that record at the right time. Like, it was really like, I don't know where I would have had the chance to express what I was going through and what I was feeling if it wasn't on that song.
Yeah.
Could have made my own song, but I don't think it would have came out the way it did there. Like that song, it really just gave me the perfect platform, the perfect canvas to really
express
just
yourself.
like, you know, paint how I was feeling.
Yeah.
So like, you know, people really got me fully like transparent on that verse.
But I like that. I like that you allowed yourself to be transparent publicly too.
Yeah.
That's the realest version of yourself, honestly. You know, you're being so authentic.
Yeah.
But like I said, you were grinding so much, you know, during this season, and as you went into detail, you know, with the Painkiller song, it's almost hard to believe that you're not working on something else, maybe. Is there something that we should be looking forward to when it comes to you?
Yeah, no, always working, always. I actually have a project that I'm really excited about. I'm working on with my brother, Fidelia. And I'm really excited just about the sound, the vision, you know what I'm saying, and just the purpose behind that project. You know, and we actually opened a studio in the city, and just to be able to work in that space is great. So I don't even want to get into it too much, you know, because I want to keep that excitement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But yeah, so that's really where my focus is right now.
You can tell I'm missing you by the women that I choose. By the way, I keep my friends around your friends to bring me news about you.
My name is Fidelia. I'm an artist from Ottawa, Ontario, / entrepreneur and the voice of the people. My passion for music began at a very young age. I had a father in the house that played a lot of like Haitian music, and I was always a big fan of like music that came from like different cultures, and also it's something I always used as an outlet to express myself.
So I might be a problem to deal with. Lately I've been dealing with some stress, and everything I'm doing ain't the best. I'm just tweaking, I'm not crazy.
What's going on?
Broski.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, chilling, you know, living, surviving.
So I want to get into a bit of a background of yourself.
Yeah.
Just like I asked Jeff just earlier, I want to know, like, when did you decide that, you know, you wanted to pursue music for yourself, you know, become an artist, all that jazz?
I would say it started at a young age, like probably like 6, 7. We just would like order like CDs from catalogs. Like I remember around the time of like TLC, like the Locks.
Yeah.
Like albums like that. And at first I would just kind of like, you know, like take verses I really liked and just like rap them out like they were mine.
Yeah.
And then over time, I would just take like a computer mic, like those like little cheap ones, and just start like rapping on this program called Cool Edit at the time. Yeah, you were a master at that.
Back in the day.
And then friends would just come over, start rapping. And around that time, 106 in Park was like big. So like the Freestyle Fridays. So a lot of battles, you know, I used to do like freestyle battles back then.
So you should just pick up from there.
From there, yeah. And then from there I guess got better and just started taking it more serious as time went.
When was the exact point where you decided to? What was the first song? You know, when you actually made your first song, what season was that like? Where were you in life? What was that environment looking like when you decided, you know what, like, let me make my first song, let me put this out for other people to hear about it?
So at the time, when I started making my own songs, I was living in Chinatown. So a lot of the lyrics were like about like drugs, guns, like all that stuff, you know. And then over time, the lyrics reflected more like about like my true experiences instead of like, I guess, what I felt I was supposed to rap about. Yeah.
So growing up, is this the type of environment that you've always been in that you were expressing? Do you want to go into detail about your childhood and how did that come about?
I would say like, you know, I experienced a lot of, you know, the lifestyle that's happens in low income like environments, you know. You know, so what comes with that is like violence, drugs. But the good part of those kind of environments, you learn culture, you know. So like in the neighborhood, like we used to like bring cardboard out and start breakdancing on it, like in the projects, like boombox, like people skateboarding. You know, so I guess like that was kind of my upbringing, you know, just kind of like taking in culture from like my like friends in the neighborhood, but also like having to deal with like, you know, sometimes walking on the street with your like head over your shoulder, dealing with cops bothering you and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Would you say that music has always been a part of your upbringing, or is it something that you just fell in love with later on in life?
I feel like because our dad is like, he was like a musician himself, like he plays the bass and he has an amazing ear, and I feel like it kind of like you know, bled onto us, you know. And so I think it's like really like ingrained and like
it's in your blood.
It's in our blood. You know? Like when we're at the studio, like people like watch him like listen to beats and stuff like that. They'll be like, "Yo, he's so like into it," and it's just, you know, it's just like how you guys are, how we are when we listen to music. So yeah, it's definitely something that like it was meant to be, like you know, at a young age.
Yeah, I think that's super dope. Honestly, you took, you know, your childhood and things that you've gone through, and you made it something really beautiful. To the point where you have a buzz in the city, not only here, outside of Ottawa. And I heard that you were to perform at Rolling Loud Hong Kong. How did that situation go about? Did it ever happen, or? No,
unfortunately. It was crazy because like that year, I was performing, I think, I performed at Bluesfest. And my sister was like, "Oh, like I can't wait for you to like perform at Rolling Loud." And then like a couple months later, I got the call that they want me to perform at Rolling Loud in Hong Kong. And it was gonna be their first year doing it out there.
That's crazy.
And then, you know, so I was excited obviously and all that. But then protests between like the citizen and the government started happening. And then they were worried about like every artist's like safety, so they just kind of like canceled the whole thing. And it was like, when I heard it, I was like, you know, obviously you're like, oh fuck, but oh sorry, my bad, my bad, my bad. Yeah, you gotta cut that out. But it's just, go ahead. You gonna say something?
Yeah, like I mean that kind of sucked, but you had the opportunity to perform at Bluesfest. I feel like Bluesfest is probably, you know, in Ottawa, the closest thing that you'll get to Rolling Loud.
No, for sure. Like it's definitely like I guess the biggest festival in Ottawa.
What was that experience like for you?
So that year was actually my second time. Like the first time, actually we performed together. I think we did a song together. But it was just nice to see, because I think the first time I performed was 2013. And then that year, I think it's 2018, I think, something like that. But it was just nice to see, because like in 2013, when I first performed, there wasn't like that much people there. Then the second time around, it was
a whole bunch of
people. A whole bunch of people and like crowd surfing and stuff. So it was just kind of nice to see like, okay, like this is where I was and this is where I'm at now. You know?
I feel like that was a very good setup, you know, that gave you even more of a buzz. And then the following year, 2019, you dropped your album, Painkiller. So can you talk to us about Painkiller? Because that album is dope.
No,
so I need the insights on that.
So like after I dropped like the Freedom like EP, I knew that like it was gonna take like a lot of work to come out with like a project that, you know, it's just as good or better, you know? So, you know, so I was in Toronto just trying to figure out my sound, because after that, the Freedom EP, there was a lot of like, EDM like producers and stuff like that would send me some stuff, and like my sound was just kind of going all over the place.
Yeah.
But like when I moved back to Ottawa from Toronto, for some reason, like I just caught like a different kind of inspiration, like because sometimes when you live away from home, you kind of become this like new person, you know, like this, you're like a new character or whatnot. But like when you're home, it's like you gotta deal with your issues are there. You can't run from your issues anymore. You know, whether it's like, you know, some of your friends are, you know, suffering, like some of your friends in jail, whatever it is, you know, like, so a lot of Painkiller comes from like those experiences of like, you know, like hometown stories, you know, that I'm putting in the forefront, but I'm talking about the city in a way where like globally people could understand it and resonate with it.
You made it relatable.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I noticed that in the track, in the album too.
Yeah.
Another thing that I caught on was that you have this blue pill, red pill concept for the intro and the outro.
Yeah.
Can you go into detail about that and why you decided to have that as a concept?
Yeah, we're having I was at my boy Peace house, and we're having a conversation about the album. And I don't know if I said the word Matrix or something like that, but someone in the room, actually this guy named Sergio, was like, oh, like you should have a track called like Blue Pill or something like that. And I'm like, oh, it would be cool, because it's like Painkiller is like, you know, I'm starting off the album telling the like unpleasant like truth, you know, which is like the red pill and the Matrix. And then like the blue pill is sort of like my hope that like after you listen to this project, like I hope like it allowed you to like escape from reality, basically. So that was kind of like the concept of the album.
That's very clever. It's very creative. I've never heard that before. But you have a lot of creative tracks in your album. One of them being the song that you guys both have together, It's Not You, It's Me. I want to get both insights of you guys writing your parts for this track, being brothers working together. What was all of that like for you guys?
Actually, we wrote the whole song together, like both of our verses.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so my verse, we started writing that in Toronto on a different beat, completely.
It's different.
Yeah, and then basically when we came back to Ottawa, I had a session with my boy P, he's a producer as well. And then we were just like working on a beat, and then we started adding like a drum pattern that was like inspired by butterflies, really, you know. And then I called him, I was like, yo, I got a record for you, you know. So I like rapped what we started in Toronto on that, on the new beat. And then I started just like freestyling. So basically I started freestyling what I thought like he would do, you know. And then we went to his house and we pieced the whole thing together. And I just knew that it was gonna be one of those joints that people like.
It was good. It's actually one of the most played of the album. Yeah. So when I saw that, I'm like, I need to get the insights. What about you? What was your vision for the track? How do you feel about that track?
Like he said, like, you know, like we started in Toronto and it was like, you know, I'm like, this song's gonna end. Like, it's just crazy because I had no idea that the beat was gonna change, but I just knew that like where the track was going, it was gonna be crazy. So just to kind of see the evolution of it, where it's like it started from the first beat and it was like, okay, there's gonna be a vibe. Then him calling me up, he's like, yo, I'm coming over, we're gonna do this. I already knew. Like I already knew. Like it's just crazy how sometimes you just know. It's like this intuition. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he came through and like first of all, P, he mentioned P, one of my favorite producers in the city. So he made the beat, I heard the beat, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just nice to be the artist, but also be the fan. Be a fan of the music, of my brother, of P, you know what I'm saying? So it's like already liking what I'm hearing, and it puts me in a position where, as an artist, I can come through with that energy that the track deserves. So he came through with the vibe, and I was like, okay, this is it. So it's almost like a alley-oop, you know? Yeah. Like it was just up to me to dunk it.
Yeah.
And I hope I did.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you did. I listened to the track. I love it. I absolutely love
Thank
it.
you.
So you definitely did that. I want to go back to what you were talking about earlier about this project that you guys are doing together. Can we get a bit more information on this? What is this project all about?
I feel like right now it's like in beginning stages.
Development.
And like, I think for both of us, we're just in a place where we really want to challenge each other and, you know, do something that's going to inspire like other artists in the city to go hard, you know.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and we got P working with us too, so
Yeah,
that's another thing, you know, because to me, it's like I realized that if I'm working with something on someone and it's like just us two, there's just this thing in my mind where it's like I appreciate that third ear. It could be 4 or 5, as long as we trust the people in the circle, but the third ear is so important to me because if we like something, but then we're both like, I don't know, third ear can be like, can't confirm, this is good, let's move on.
Exactly.
And I feel like, you know, P with his ear, it's like, I don't doubt it. So it's like, we get to move with this confidence. That's why I'm excited about this project because we know the vision, we know just where we want to take it. So it just makes the whole process, like even if it's just the beginning, the development, I think it's the sweetest part. It'll be nice when it all comes together, but just, you know, kind of building something from the ground up, it's a dope feeling. So,
So when should we be expecting this project or hearing about it soon, hopefully? When should that be? This year?
I mean, like, I want to say 21. I feel like 21, like, you know, 21. You know what I'm saying? 2020 has been, you know, an interesting type of year. So I would like for everybody to get like a reset.
Yeah.
And it would be great. It would be great
Sure.
to enter. Well, maybe not enter, but just you know, kind of, you know, get into that year and just contribute in that way. I would like that. You know what I'm saying? So
New energy.
Yeah, it's a fresh start.
Yeah.
So it's good to have new stuff when you're starting fresh.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm excited for what you guys have in store. I'm excited for what you guys are working on. And I really enjoyed this conversation with you guys, but I can't finish this interview without asking if you guys have any advice for anybody, you know, that is trying to follow your footsteps, you know, get into the music career and, you know, pursue their dreams.
You want to go first?
Man, I would just say authenticity. Just be genuine. Let things be organic. Let things be natural. That's my vibe, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Whether, you know, we're just having a regular conversation or if it's an interview or whatever it is, it's just genuine, natural energy. I just want people to not be afraid to be themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's super important because there's a certain type of confidence that you move with when you don't feel like you gotta like hide, filter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These days, you know, we're very familiar with filters and what they add, but I just think that like if we can see the beauty in what is by itself, I think that what that develops into is something that like you can't even imagine, but you have to have faith and just confidence in what that is. So I would just say confidence and authenticity.
That's good.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything he said. I think another important thing is having a team. Because when it comes to you know, this industry, you know, you can't do everything yourself. You know, like you can't. Like a lot of people want to, you know, try to put out there like, oh, like I'm independent, I do it myself, like from the music to the marketing. But you'll be able to have a lot more impact if you have a team surrounding you. And another thing is, I would say, do things with like purpose. 'Cause I think that's like the real emotions will always resonate. And I personally think like the concept of like celebrity is gonna die out soon. So like I think just, you know, directly connecting with people is what's gonna make individuals last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for the advice. I absolutely love this interview.
Do you?
I do. Honestly, I enjoyed it. I got to know you guys more on a personal level, you know, not just you know, Jeff Sanon and City Fidelia that I hear on Apple Music. It's really like, you know, you guys are real. You guys are real and genuine people. So that was
Appreciate
awesome. But that is it for our interview.
Yeah.
So guys, that is it for our interview, and we will see you guys in our next one. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Kel. Thank you so much for tuning into The Guide. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos you do not want to miss out.